AI in gaming is coming. It's something we see talked about a lot, and you see it from a couple of different perspectives. Obviously, you have game developers or people who are working in creating games a little bit afraid as to what AI is going to do. The reality of the situation is I think AI is definitely going to take some jobs. It's going to be unfortunate for the people that do get replaced by it. I don't know how big that will be. You still definitely need people creating games and giving us these great ideas that we do see, but there will be some job loss. But I think there will also be a lot of positive things that could come from AI in terms of game development and in terms of giving us better and more full experiences that we just can't see right now without this technology being implemented. We've seen AI already implemented in many ways. For example, the AI upscaling stuff that we do see, which takes some of the pressure off of the hardware to give us good results and have games running at higher frames per second with good looking resolutions and everything. But there's so many other things that AI is going to come into play in for the future. One of those major things is actually going to be with the creation of games and creation of gameplay. I'm very skeptical how AI will work for that. I think you'll definitely need still a large human presence to have a good video game, because you've seen already some things where there's these AI generative models that create games and they are all very, very bad. I don't want to see a future where that's where the industry goes. Maybe to help out with improving the video games, one of the things that always comes to mind is NPCs, making NPCs more lifelike. I think AI could have a huge change in open world games, in just running around and having characters seem more alive. Right now, there is still that gap that you could tell when you go and you can see these NPCs have just had their lines copy and pasted, or they're all doing the same type of motions and everything when you're walking around a city or something. I think AI could have a huge impact on that, which would make the games far more immersive. But there's a very cool thing that just got announced, and this is from Xbox and Xbox Wire, and it has to do with AI and the Muse, a generative AI model for gameplay. So this is a new thing that they have announced here, and we'll see how it does affect gaming going forward. I'm going to go through the article because there's a lot of interesting stuff to look at here. They have examples and everything. So we'll move over here. And again, this is from Xbox Wire, and it says empowering creators and players with Muse, a generative AI model for gameplay. And they go on here and say, at Xbox, we're all about using AI to make things better and more fun for players and game creators. We want to bring more games to more people around the world and always stay true to the creative vision and artistry of game developers. We believe generative AI can boost this creativity and open up new possibilities. And I think it can help and it can boost, but I don't think it should take over the people who are coming up with the very creative ideas. They have announced this new thing here called a generative AI breakthrough, and it is going to show potential of new possibilities to make older games accessible to future generations of players across new devices in new ways. It's called Muse, generative AI model for gameplay creation. Now, one of the studios at Xbox that has done some of the most amazing things, I would say breakthrough things when it comes to graphics and cinematics in video games, has been Ninja Theory. If you take a look at Hellblade 2, game is just absolutely stunning from a graphical perspective. You can make different arguments about if you like the gameplay and all that stuff, but just from the cinematic presentation, graphical perspective, Hellblade 2 is unmatched right now, I would say, in that space. And Xbox here is working with Ninja Theory with the Microsoft research team, and they have developed a world and human action model, WHAM. It's called Muse, and it's the first kind of generative AI model trained on Ninja Theory's multiplayer battle arena, Bleeding Edge. Again, a very interesting thing here, because this is a game by Ninja Theory that nobody really expected them to make. It came out, it absolutely flopped, it did not last at all, and now they're reusing this for something else, which means that it didn't just completely go to waste. They say Ninja Theory and the Microsoft research are both based in Cambridge, which made the collaboration easy and the use of Bleeding Edge for this research. So here is what it is going to be doing. Here's what it has been able to do. You can see some pictures of Bleeding Edge. It was a cool game. I still have my physical copy of it that obviously can't be used now because it's just an online game, but it was a cool game when it has, for as long as it did lasted. It says, this allows the model to create consistent and diverse gameplay rendered by AI, demonstrating a major step toward generative AI models that can empower game creators. And Microsoft research initially set out to explore how generative AI models can support new experiences, focusing on developing AI capabilities that could allow game developers to ideate and expand upon their work in new ways. And to accomplish this, they interviewed 27 global game creators from indies to AAA game studios to make sure that the research was shaped by the people who would use it. And then they allowed other research teams and game developers to explore the model and experiment with its capabilities. And Muse, right now, its model weights, sample data, and interactive interface are available on Azure AI Foundry. So what does this all mean for gaming? Because that's obviously the biggest question that we do have here when we're looking at this, and how has it going to be able to improve games going forward. Basically, what they are using this for right now, and this could be very cool because it means that we could see these games being launched on several different devices. This is probably a big thing here as well for, let's say, the Xbox Play Anywhere feature that they have. It says, thanks to this breakthrough, we are exploring the potential for Muse to take older back catalog games from our studios and optimize them for any device. We believe this could radically change how we preserve and experience classic games in the future and make them accessible for more players. So that, I think they're addressing a couple of things here. One of the things we've seen with Xbox recently, and I think for good reason, absolutely, is that the concern that if they are moving away from the console, they're still going to make a console for next generation, but if they're slowly moving away from that, and I think the whole industry is going to be moving away from the console, maybe in a generation or two, not the next one coming up, but maybe the one after that, how do you preserve your back catalog of games? Because if you've spent thousands of dollars, if you have hundreds and hundreds of games you've purchased on the Xbox store, on your Xbox console, to lose those is just not the answer. That's something that just can't happen. People will be very, very outraged about that, and it would just be one of the worst things, I think, to happen to a lot of people in gaming, to realize, hey, we can't even access this stuff anymore because it's locked to a box that isn't supported. I think this is potentially something that they are looking at on how to make sure that that preservation does stay, and that won't be an issue at all going forward into the future. When, if you have a game that was just developed for Xbox, it wasn't on PC or something, maybe this is something that still allows you to play it via a different means and via a different device. That's kind of what this is speaking to me for. I mean, that's what that does sound like. They go on here and they say, to imagine that beloved games lost to time and hardware advancement could one day be played on any screen with Xbox is an exciting possibility for us. Another opportunity we are exploring is how Muse can help game teams prototype new gameplay experiences during the creative process and introduce new content, taking games players already love and enabling our developers to inject new experiences for them to enjoy, or even enable you to participate in this creation process. So that's pretty cool. And they say, we'll create opportunities for people to participate in this exploration, starting with short interactive AI game experiences for you to try on Copilot Labs very soon. Now, when it comes to Xbox specifically, what is the approach that Xbox is taking in all of this? Basically, they're saying, as a part of this, we have empowered creative leaders here at Xbox to decide on the use of generative AI. So game creators will always be at the center, they say, of the overall AI efforts, but they do believe there is a traditional space here for game development and future generative AI technologies. And then, of course, it will all be decided by the creative leaders at Xbox as to whether they want to use it. And then the AI experience from Xbox, they say it means that we'll share our AI product innovation earlier on, providing opportunities for players and creators to experiment with and co-build new AI features and capabilities with us. So it allows them to make AI innovations and address real problems that add new value to creating or playing with Xbox. So this is the new thing that they did put out. I would say like the main takeaways when I read this through this, there's obviously just a lot of jargon in there that they're trying to sell this. But the biggest thing for me would definitely be the game preservation, and something that Xbox has talked about over and over and over again, saying we would hear more about what they are going to be doing to preserve games. It looks like this AI feature, this Muse thing, is going to be one of those things that they do use to make sure that once the Xbox console officially becomes obsolete, once Xbox console is actually dead, you're still going to be able to play all of those games that you purchased on the console, on a PC, on a third-party box, if they license out the Xbox UI, on a handheld, any other place where Xbox is available. This is going to be something to help bring over those games to be playable. It is Interesting. I don't know officially how it is going to work. I mean, you should always be skeptical of these types of things until it is put into action, but it is at least showing us that they are definitely thinking about how they're going to transfer people from the box to everything else once the box does eventually go away. Whenever that is, we don't know when. It's not going to be next generation, but I think it'll probably be the generation after that. So we'll have one more Xbox, then from there, who knows where we'll be in the gaming industry. Will we even have another PlayStation after PS6? That's still something we don't know, depending on how much the technology advances. Will there be another Nintendo after the Switch 2? I would say probably, but the reality is the world of gaming is absolutely advancing. The strategy, the industry has changed a lot in this generation, from the cross plays, the games that are on PC now, specifically when you look at PlayStation putting a lot of their games onto PC, the cross saves, like all this stuff has completely changed the industry, and there has to be ways forward that move away from being locked to a singular box, and Xbox is definitely looking at how they could do that with this AI Muse technology. Very interesting. I'm sure we will hear more about it and see more about how it does work. I'm also interested in how AI games will work. Will there ever be a game that's created just by AI that will be fun and playable, or that will be something that is worthwhile investing any significant amount of time into? Still skeptical on that, but we will see. I'm gonna end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.